Hello again. This is Lauri Espinosa with my husband.
Joel Espinosa.
We're back with Marriage with a Mission. And we do believe that God has a special plan for this podcast and that we're not just telling our story. I did always think I would write a story about how we met because it was so ridiculous. Like,
So crazy.
so
We
crazy.
cannot believe it.
And we'll talk about that next time. Just getting you a little ready there. Because it really is beautiful and crazy and hard to believe.
So many details.
Yeah, so many that God would bring someone from Mexico and someone from the United States together, and the way we came together, the way that we met, the way that we got to know one another. It's really, really special. So I'm going to start. This episode is going to be me talking about me and life before I met Joel. I was born to Mary and Joseph. They were very young when I was born. My mother walked across the stage at her high school graduation pregnant with me. She was 17, I believe, or had just turned 18. Anyway, she was very young. And my dad was really young as well. Their marriage didn't last very long. I think I was 3 when they got divorced. And then my mom ended up remarrying right before I turned 5 to my stepdad, whom she remained married to until he passed away. I think it's 6 years ago now, maybe 5 or 6. And when my mom remarried, I moved into a house, and my mom still lives there to this day. There was way more stability in our lives once she married, and I loved my granny, Mama Sue, we called her. And she just took me in as if I were her blood grandchild. She did not treat me any differently. She took me to church, and that's how I started getting to know. That's how I started learning about God.
Were you the first grandkid?
I was. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah,
I was the first one for her.
Yeah, okay.
And then others came along later, a lot more. So I think let's see, I already said that. So when I was 12, let's see, should I say anything more? When I was little, my mom and my dad were divorced. I would go and visit my dad in the summers. Sometimes I would go and see him over the weekends. My mom and dad would take turns with me. Sometimes one would get me at Christmas, and I think we did it like the next year. My dad would get me, then my mom, and that was they figured that out and worked that out. I don't know that we always did that. It's just what I remember doing that. And I'm trying to think what else is important.
Well, I love seeing pictures of you holding squirrels. And you told me you ran the across the creek when it was frozen.
I did. I was a little wild. In that I like to have fun and
climbing trees.
I love to climb trees. Mm-hmm. Yes, I did. My dad whenever I would go with my dad, he would take me to creeks and rivers, and I would just swim, and he would hang out with his friends, and they would have kids, and we would just swim, and I loved it. It was the best thing for me, just going to creeks and rivers and just swimming in all that water and catching crawdads. I loved animals and bugs. I was not afraid of them. I didn't like mosquitoes and chiggers so much. I got a lot of bites from them.
Yeah.
But today, I get bit by a mosquito, and they don't even leave a mark on me anymore. So that's pretty cool. We'll go. I know when our girls were smaller, like they would get bit all over, and I remember that. I remember those days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm gonna fast forward, I think, until I was 12. Because this was very significant. Ended up getting baptized when I was 12. I was at church, and from the time I was 5, well, a couple months before I turned 5, I was a regular attender. My grandmother would come and get me every morning, every Sunday morning, to take me to church. So I was setting up in the balcony with the youth. We always sat up there, and they were playing the song of invitation, which is the song at the end of the service to invite you up if you want to get baptized. I was singing the song, and I started to feel this literal pull on my body to go forward and receive, well, I don't know if it's to receive anything, but to walk forward and to say, hey, I want to receive Jesus Christ as my Savior, and I'd like to get baptized. But I didn't want to go forward. That was really scary to me. I didn't want to step out in front of anyone. I didn't want anybody to see me. I was very afraid of that. So I grabbed onto the railing of the stairs, because as I was, you have to go down the stairs to get on the main floor and then walk forward. And I just kept grabbing onto that railing, and I did not want to let go, but the pull was stronger than my strength. And I kept going down one step, and then I go down another step, and I was hanging on for dear life. Like,
yeah, so afraid.
What is
like,
going on?
Oh man,
I did not know what it was. I know now it was the Holy Spirit drawing me forward. But at the time, I did not know what was going on. I did know this, though. It was time to get baptized. That's what I knew, because I knew I believed in Jesus, and I knew I believed in his death on the cross, and I knew I believed that he was resurrected, and it was for me to save me from my sins and give me a new life. And so I knew these things, and it was time. And I think the Holy Spirit was like, all right, come on, you need a little help. I'm going to help you out.
Yes.
And so as soon as that song of invitation ended, I was almost at the bottom of the stairs. And so the song ended, and all of a sudden I was released from that pull. And I took a big deep breath and just sat there on the steps, because it was a big deal. It was a big deal. I'd never had anything like that happen to me. So moving forward, I loved church. It was wonderful, wonderful experience. There was so much peace at church. I was really happy there. I loved going every Sunday, and for me, there was never a question of, do I want to go or not? Like, I was just so happy at church. I wanted to be there, and nobody made me go, although my grandmother had an expectation that I would go. So maybe she didn't make me go, but I loved it, and I didn't care. I'd never felt like I was, pushed or made to go. I was really happy to be there. Until I was 15. When I turned 15, a youth pastor touched me inappropriately. I had never had anything. I'd never had any negative experiences like that at church. And so when that happened, the first time it happened, I just pretended like maybe that was an accident. Maybe he didn't mean to do that. Maybe
benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I'm gonna give them benefit of the doubt. So. Then I remember the next time I was in the pool, and he came up behind me and grabbed me, and it was, I knew this was not right. I felt really uncomfortable. So after that experience, I stopped going to church just abruptly. So of course, my mom's asking me, why did you stop going? My grandmother's asking me, why aren't you going to church anymore? And I think my mom said to me, if there's something that you need to say and you can't tell me about it, can you tell your grandmother about it? And I said, maybe. And she said, I'd really like to encourage you to do that. So I called my grandmother, or she called me. My mom set it up. I don't remember how it went down, but I talked to my grandmother and told her what happened. And she said, can I tell someone? And I said, no, like, this was mortifying. I'm telling you, like, that's huge. That's so hard. And then go and tell other people at the church? No way. Although at the time, I was a young girl, I was scared, but
yes, yeah.
People needed to know, because what if he was doing that to others?
To other kids too.
Yeah, and now we find out, like, because it's a Southern Baptist church. Now we find out, like, what was it, last year when it was all over the news? Then they were talking about it, about how the Southern Baptist, or maybe it was a couple of years ago, I don't know. But they were talking about how the Southern Baptist was like kind of hiding all that and keeping it all a cult and just moving pastors from one church to another.
Yes.
Whenever they did.
Hush.
Yeah,
hush,
it was
hush.
very hush-hush. So
yeah.
I was one of the people, caught in that. Thankfully, he didn't, thankfully it didn't go farther, and I'm really thankful for that. But yeah, what happened was really upsetting, and I had been sexually abused in the past, and so I definitely got triggered from that, and I thought, I can do something about this now, and I am not going to let this happen again. So I didn't go back to church for a long time. At about age 17, I started to see a psychiatrist because my mom had some concerns for me. And the psychiatrist recommended an antidepressant at some point. And my mom was really concerned about that, which I understand because you've got these side effects that are really awful. And it was really scary for her. So I ended my my time with her. But let's see. I still didn't go to church. I tried to kind of do things on my own from the age of 15 to 20. I did not seek the Lord. I don't even know that I really knew how to, other than just, I was taught to pray, which is, I didn't even know what that was. What is pray? What are we doing?
We pray for the meal, and that's it.
Yeah, we would pray for the meal, and we'd pray at church. But I didn't know that God was like a dad, and that I could talk to him, and that he would talk to me, and that anyway, I didn't know those things. So I would say it was about 5 years. It was when I was 20 when I started going back to church. After doing things on my own, I just didn't, I was lost. I was lonely. I had my moments, my nights where I drank so much that, I probably should have gone to the hospital. I know once I got alcohol poisoning because I had a friend who was in my dorm who was studying to be a nurse, and so she was helping me throw up, and it was awful. Like, that was such an awful feeling, and I thought, I don't like this. I don't like this feeling, and a couple of years would pass, and then I'd get drunk again because I would be out with friends and think, oh, this is a good idea. I don't know. I didn't expect to get drunk. I was just like, oh, I'm having fun. This is fun. And then before you know it, I'm over the toilet throwing up. So that wasn't very fun. But anyway, at 20, I started going back to church. My grandmother had really been a big part of that. She had never pushed me, but she had encouraged me. When I would see her, she wouldn't always say anything, but on occasion she would say, have you found a church yet that you're going to? Did you find a ministry at college? They have a lot of good ministries there at college. And I would say, no, I haven't. And she would just be just a little bit of encouragement, but I never felt like she was pushing me or burdening me or anything like that. So, but anyway, at 20, I thought, you know what? I'm pretty lost and lonely. Maybe I do need to go back to church. Maybe I was really happy when I was there before. Maybe I can be happy there again. So I got involved with the youth ministry, even though I was in college. They didn't really have a college ministry. So I just got involved with the youth ministry. And then I did some Bible studies, and it was amazing. It was so beautiful. I still remember going to this church, and I would say it was like the third or fourth Sunday. And the pastor kept talking about Jesus. And I thought, my goodness, can he not get some new material? Every week it's about Jesus.
Like, what's going on?
Well, now I know it's all about Jesus. So he was doing the right thing by teaching us about Jesus and talking about Jesus.
Yeah, it's like the Bible is so big, and you just talk about one person. You have
Yeah,
all those
yeah.
stories. You need to say something else.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's just I wasn't used to it.
Yes.
So let's see. Yeah, anyway, I was doing all that. I was learning, I was growing, I was feeling the Holy Spirit, even though at the time I didn't really know what that was. Now looking back, I can say, oh, yeah, I was feeling the Holy Spirit at that time. God
Mm-hmm.
was really drawing me back to him. And it was really wonderful. And again, I felt lovely. I loved it. I loved church. Uh, so that same year, I also graduated from college with a bachelor's of science at my college. And I decided I didn't really want to go into the career that I thought that I started out school and thought I might want to go into, but I definitely didn't want to do more college. I knew I just wanted to finish. So I just stuck with it, finished out. It was a degree in merchandising, apparel, and textiles. And after that, I thought, well, I need to make a plan that what am I going to do when I graduate? I nannied a little bit and I worked around here and there. And then and the more I thought about it, I was like, well, actually, I had thought about going into the Army when I was 17, coming out of high school, but then changed my mind. Then I thought, it was a couple of years later, I thought, no, it was my senior year of college. Some Navy recruiters came to the hotel where I was working. I worked as a concierge on the upper floors, and they were saying, hey, you should join the Navy. What are you doing working here?
Yes.
You should do something that matters. And you're in college. You'll be able to go straight in and be an officer. You won't have to be...
Just start on the bottom.
Start on the bottom.
Yeah.
And I thought that sounded good. So I started running and doing push-ups and training. I talked to a Navy recruiter. And at some point, the Navy recruiter quit. He quit responding to my phone calls. And so I don't know what happened, but I didn't push. I thought, you know what? Maybe that's just not meant to be. I'm not going to try it anymore. I'm just going to pull back. So then I said, well, what am I going to do? Because I have this heart to travel. I have this heart to, I just can't stay here. I have to go somewhere. I just felt like I have to go somewhere. So then I thought, well, maybe the Peace Corps. So I started looking into the Peace Corps. And no, that didn't feel right. And then I kind of stopped at full-time missions. And I thought, I think this is it. I can be a missionary. I love God and I love people. So I can go tell people about God. This is wonderful. So I started filling out all my paperwork to be a full-time missionary. And I went to talk to a pastor about it. And I was telling him, hey, I'm thinking about being a full-time missionary. And I was just kind of wanted to talk to you about it, see what you thought. And he said, well, you might just want to try a short-term mission trip. If you're going to go do full-time missions, it might be helpful to try a short-term mission trip.
Just to try it a little bit. And that was with the Baptist church that you were going?
Well, I was actually going just to an independent Christian church at the time, but when I went back home to my Baptist church, because I would go home and visit sometimes, I'd go to church with my mom. I'd stay the night there and go to church in the morning on occasion. And I was talking to the pastor there, and he said, you haven't been gone that long, and you went here most of your life. I could help you get on, what do you call it, with the Baptist missionaries. And it's so much easier. You don't have to go around and
ask for money and everything because they have all the organization already there.
Yes. And I thought, well, that sounds really good. That sounds really good. I want to do that. So he actually helped me out to get that started. And anyway, I was ready. Like I was ready to go do that full time. And then I went on my short-term mission trip and met you, and everything changed. Yep. So.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, everything changed a lot.
Everything did change.
Yes. What your mom or your dad were saying when you said I want to be a missionary?
I don't know that I even told my dad. I don't know that it was a conversation we had. If it was, I don't remember him saying anything about it. And honestly, I'm sure I talked to my mom about it, but I don't know. She always told me, just do whatever you want to do. Be whoever you want to be. You can do anything you want. I remember when I was a little girl, she said, what do you want to be when you grow up? You can be anything. And I said, Wonder Woman. And I want to be Wonder Woman.
Yes.
And she said, all right, you can do it. She never said to me, oh, honey, that's just a character on the TV. You can't be Wonder Woman. Let's be a little more realistic. No, she never did. She said, you can do anything or be anything you want to be. So I believed it.
Yes, like, yeah, I can do it. I can do it.
Yeah. So I know we still have 10 minutes here, and I thought I had more notes on here about. I'm not seeing them. Do you have anything that you remember that we talked about before when we were recording?
Regarding you growing up? Well, the things that we are so different. Yeah. Like you grew up in the country, I grew up in the city. All the things that you were doing is like, how can you do that?
I love going barefoot.
I know.
And you were so embarrassed. You're like, yes, you can't just go barefoot.
Whether you put your shoes on, oh my goodness. And you were as comfortable as can be. It's like, this is so different. I had a hard time with that. Really, really. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, that was like, we're at church. Why did you take your sandals off? Oh my goodness. Oh, I know. Yeah, that was yes.
That's a good point. I want to. Well, no, I can't talk about that. That's after we met.
Okay. Okay. The other thing that is different between you and I is that you were more independent when you went to college by yourself. You left home.
I left home a few days before I turned 18.
Yeah.
Because that's when orientation was. And we could go ahead and move into our dorms. And I was ready. I was so ready. I was ready to go. Yeah. I was ready to go.
Yeah, I leave home all the time until we got married. But you were out of the house. That's a big difference that I still don't get it.
Yeah.
I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm an American. That's why. It's what we do.
Yeah. I'm like, why? That is
we graduate
wrong.
High school and we're gone. We're out. We're going to do it on our own, even if it is HE double hockey sticks. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, we go.
Yeah.
But I do like your way of doing things. I like that you were able to stay at home and you were able to work and save money
help the family.
Yeah, because it's hard. Whew, it was hard. It's hard doing everything on your own, paying your own car payments and insurance and rent and water and electricity and on and on and on. And then you eat very little. And the things that you do eat, it's not that great.
They're not healthy at all. They're
not healthy.
They're that close to be poisoned.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, so that is like, okay, that is so different. So it was shocking for me knowing that. It's like why? You should be living with your parents. Did they kick you out? What is going on? Okay.
I do remember saying when we were getting to know one another, I was like, yeah, I live with a friend of mine from church who rents a room out to me.
Yeah.
And you were like, what? You didn't get it. Like, you asked me the question a couple of times, and I started to feel bad because I thought, why is he asking me that question again? Why is it so hard to understand?
Yes, that's hard to understand. The other thing that I like about you, the way that we are so different, you are so, besides the independent, that you like to go for it. You were like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that on my own. I can do it. I can drive. I remember when you told me, I took my sister and my I don't know, it was your sister and your brother to Florida?
Just my sister to Florida.
You drove all the way to Florida.
And it was amazing. I love the adventure. I am very adventurous.
Adventure, that's the word that I love about you.
I know when I came into your life, it's like, let's go do this, let's go do that. And you're like, yeah, let's do it. Because you had never had anybody like me in your life who was so adventurous. And I loved that about you. that even if you had never done it, you didn't know what was going to happen or anything. You were like, hey, she wants to do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, except with food. I'm not that adventurous with food.
That's true. That's true.
Yes. And there's some like, okay, wait a minute. But you always encourage me and push me to be more, to do more. That is so different. And that is so beautiful how different we are. The way that we grew up, and you making fun of me, you silly boy, you don't like this. Like, are you okay doing that? It's like, come on.
I will say, I was just looking over my notes here, and my dad used to watch Westerns.
Yeah.
And so when I would go and visit him, he would be watching Westerns. I would get so bored. So bored. First time watching it, I might like it, but we watch it again, or we watch the second one. I need to move. I need to get up and move. So what I would do is I would pester my dad, and he would start tickling me.
Mm-hmm.
And he would get me into these holds, like in his arms or wrapped up in his legs. He'd like hold me down, and I would struggle and struggle and struggle. But I had so much energy built up in me. I needed to get it out, and it got it out. When he would get really frustrated with me, he would tickle me till it would hurt. Like he'd like put his hand under my chin, his thumb, and he would do like this, and it tickled at first, but then it started hurting, and eventually I'd give up because it was
like
painful.
That's too much. Yeah, it's like, no, I don't want it. Yeah.
But he'd only do that whenever he felt like that's it. Like I'm done. And yeah, he lived with his mother. I would say most of the time. Whenever I would go and visit him, he was with his mother. He also had girlfriends, and we would go to their houses too, if he was living with them. And I do have a brother and sister. Mm-hmm. My brother is by my mom and stepdad, and my sister is by my dad and his girlfriend at the time. And you have one sister.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. I just thought that was kind of interesting. I also grew up watching American Bandstand and hip hop dancers on TV, and I absolutely loved to dance. I wish I were younger so I could go take dance lessons. I just feel like I'm way too old now at this point. I don't think I have the energy to do it. I did really, really like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I like when you dance because I can see how happy you are and the joy when you're moving.
Mm-hmm. Who were some of your favorite bands when you were growing up?
Well, when I was really little, my parents told me that I love listening to Kiss.
Okay.
and it's not that I listened that at home. It was more at my uncle's.
Right.
When he put the music. So it was so... my background in two different families. My dad's side, it was more like traditional Mexican music. And my mom's side of the family, it was more modern music, more American music. And I love that side than the other. Mm-hmm. So I remember growing up, my uncles, they put a little bit of Billy Joel, Michael Jackson, Madonna. Mm-hmm. They listened to all the most popular music. Yes. So I listen a little bit to that, and I always like it. But I remember my parents told me when I was little, he's like, you got a little wild when you were listening to Kiss, and you really like Kiss. But I was so little, I don't remember, 5, 6, 7. And then growing up to church, it was more like you need to listen to Christian music. If you listen to secular music, that's from the devil, and that's bad. Yeah. But I always like the rock music. I always love that. Yeah, so that's...
Yeah, for me, my mom always had the radio on, and it was always on contemporary hits.
Mm-hmm.
When I would ride in the car with my stepdad, or when my mom wasn't there, my stepdad would have on hard rock. Mm-hmm. And then my dad was always country. My mom, on occasion, would switch over to country, but she was mostly...
But you know all the lyrics.
I knew all the lyrics, all the songs. Because the radio was always on.
Yeah.
If the TV wasn't on. Like, if the TV was on, the radio wasn't on. But In the
Yeah.
car, the radio was always on, and really often at the house, like I said, if the TV wasn't on, the radio was on. There was always some kind of
Music.
or sound.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Sometimes we're driving and like all some come up. I don't know the song, and you're like singing, and it's like, okay, yep, that's another one. Another one. You're like yeah.
Yeah. I liked it all. I listened to it all, but mostly I was into contemporary hits. And then when I was in high school, when I stopped going to church, I would say like right around 15, I really got into Prince. But just really loved Prince, and I had all of his CDs and cassette tapes. I remember cassette tapes.
Yes.
And records. I had records too. Cyndi Lauper record. I remember that when I played that over and over, and Michael Jackson. But anyway, when I was in high school, I remember loving Led Zeppelin and Prince. They were my favorite. I had everything they made, and I listened to them quite often.
Now, what was the show that you watched with your grandma a lot? You told me that.
Oh.
It was Wheel of Fortune, or it was
Wheel of Fortune. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wheel of Fortune, but I think so.
Or there was another one that The Price is Right? I don't know.
The Price is Right.
Okay.
Yes.
I remember you told me I used to watch a show with my grandma all the time.
Yeah, well, that was whenever during the summers when I would stay with her, or after school I would get, or whenever I was home from school and my mom still had to work, I would stay with my grandmother. Not all the time, but on occasion. And whenever I did, that's what we would do. I did love staying with her. I love staying with it was two grandmas. It was Mama Sue, which was my stepdad's mother, and then my stepdad's grandmother, which was the mom's mom. So they were really good to me. It was really, really nice staying over at their house. I loved it. Yeah.
Nice.
So we're at 32 minutes. So
perfect.
We better stop it now. And we'll continue on next time with more about us and how we met. It's about to get really interesting.
Yes, I love it.
And fun, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, thanks for listening to us. And until next time, bye.